Well, if you remember a while back on this old black El Camino back here, we did an intake swap on it. And kind of a comparison, small block Chevy style versus Vortec style. And this intake's been on here for about 50 miles. And I don't like it. I don't like anything that it has to do with performance-wise. This intake that I took off is more of an air gap RPM style. And the one that I put on is a cheap Summit. It's not even an air gap. It's just like an Edelbrock RPM kind of knockoff. You can go back and watch that video if you want. However, what I have discovered over the last several months, and part of the reason why I got rid of that other intake is because I could not get it to seal, no matter what. These aluminum heads on here are drilled for small block Chevy and Vortec style. That other intake, the one on the bench, is a small block Chevy. This one that's on here is a Vortec. The reason I couldn't get it to seal, in my opinion, is because the heads are drilled for both. The gasket is supposed to be enough to seal the extra holes and not have any leaks. Well, every single time we were leaking up around these two bolts, well, the two inner ones, because those are coolant bolts, so are these. And on the gasket, you can see, well, I can show you. These are coolant passages on these outside ones. You can obviously see the different bolt patterns here in the gasket. This is a 1289-5 gasket. It is thicker. Well, it's the same thickness as the ones that I did take off, but it's got a bigger gap for the, or a bigger opening for the runners. So these ports should be quite a bit bigger than the old one that I took off. I can't remember the number of it, but I should have. It's probably, the number's probably in the other video, but anyway, we got to go ahead and start disconnecting all this stuff for this EFI. Holy smokes. That one's in there pretty good. There we go. You know, to pull our distributor, all that jazz, take all these linkages and crap off. I did suck down the cooling system with the Mighty Vac, so that's already done. But this is a little bit of a process. I haven't done it for a few months on this car, which is fine. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get this thing tore down and get this intake swapped, and I'll kind of show you more once we get there. All right, well, we're tearing her down. We got our fuel line off the front. We got all this whole conglomeration of crap out of the way over there. We'll get this rear fuel line taken off here. Let it drain into the pig mat for a second. Try to dump her out. Oh, magnet stuck to the dipstick tube. That's funny. Clip this guy up there somewhere, get rid of him. And now we just got plug wires, pull the distributor, and we got to pull the carb anyways, because we're putting that, well, not carb, but EFI system. We got to put that on the other intake anyway, so we'll pop that off. I'll take these little clips. Ooh, let go of my fingernail. That's fun. We'll set him up there so I lose it later. Put that over there, and I think this comes off of here. Which that's going to require two hands to do. And then just got to unbolt this bracket off of this guy. We'll get that out of the way, get our coolant upper radiator hose and stuff off. keep rocking and rolling. All right, well, I know that's pointing like up here. We're on number 1 down there, or sorry, we're on the 0 down there on the timing. So just make reference to where that's at. Probably closer, you know, up to this corner of the intake. Might be a tooth forward, I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and pop that. And then, should be pretty close to pulling this thing out. I got this bracket off here, got our coolant line off, took our thermostat and stuff out. Yeah, just gotta pop that distributor out of there, and yeah, we can start unbolting the intake and get that thing off. All right, let's go ahead and grab hold of this guy, get him popped out of there. Carefully, your gasket down there. We can also look at our melanized gear too. This had a brass one in it, if you remembered right. That looks really good. No wear on that. Good shape. One last look over. It appears that everything is out of the way. We can unbolt that and take her off. Now, trust me when I say I would much rather have a Vortec style intake on this car versus small block style. It's just, I think, in my opinion, a better design, better gaskets, so on and so forth, and much easier to bolt down, to remove. And did I get ARPs? I sure did. It's just easier to take off and on. Less bolts, you know, all the good stuff like that. Oh yeah, she's good and sealed on there. All right, I think she's kind of broke loose here. Should be able to just grab her and yank it off here. Maybe. There we go. Yep, she still looks pretty nice in there. Beautiful. Full roller. She's a good girl. All right, well, let's look. You can obviously see the huge air gap and how long these runners are and how big the ports are versus these itty bitty ports, and no gap. This car runs substantially better with this on it than it did with that. So, you know, and then I'll show you over here, you can see these gaskets. You only have the Vortec style. Oops, just dropped that right down in the lifter valley. That's fine. Here's our other bolt holes. Vortec, standard small block. These are coolant passages. As you can see, that gasket covered those other two holes. And with the Vortec style, it worked. With the other style, it did not. They kept leaking up through these Vortec bolt holes because you could see those bolt holes under the gasket. That is what we are going to rectify today. I hate having to, these are the good Vortec gaskets, the steel. You have to buy a whole kit to get those for like $100 or whatever it is. You know, just blowing money But anyway, I'll show you what we're gonna plug these with. So I just went on Amazon and got this kit here. Hex Allen head socket set, 830 pieces. It's got all kinds of different sizes, little Allen wrenches for them. Yeah, that's what we're gonna use. We're gonna put some PTFE and thread these down in so that they're countersunk under the top of the bolt opening, so they fit down inside this opening for that bolt. And that way we don't have any issues with our gasket when installing our new one. All right, so what we're gonna use here is the 5/16 by 18, which are these guys here. And I'll bring you over here to show you. We obviously have to put PTFE on these first, but I'll just show you what we're after. These will thread right down in here, like so. And block those passages. And they're countersunk down in there. Hopefully it works the way we want it to. We will find out. All right, well, let's have a look here. We got our PTFE, fresh-ish can, so it's not all clumpy and crappy. Take this little guy, put a little dab around him. And go ahead and thread him into our Vortec hole. Now, I'm not going to thread those clear down in there. Those are not blind holes. Those are open down into the coolant passage. So you can thread that thing all the way down into the coolant passage. And also, if you went too far, I don't know if maybe it would restrict this bolt from going in. I'm not sure. But we're just going to basically put them down flush. And this PTFE, once it dries up, should hold them in place, because obviously they're not tight. I'll put this one here in. And this is all we're gonna do. I am gonna let this sit overnight before putting the intake and all that stuff on. Mainly due to the fact that I repainted the intake that we're putting on, and it was kind of more of a flat black, and I just set it down in the lifter valley and did not like how it looked against the valve covers at all. So we went ahead and repainted it gloss. So that has to dry. And then, when we get a chance to come back down here, we'll dump that thing on there. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys what we're doing with these little plugs here. Whoa. And hopefully it works the way we want it to. If you guys have done this at home, drop us a comment. Let us know if it worked or didn't work, or if you recommend it. I don't know, I didn't find a ton of information online about it. A little bit. But it was mixed reviews. Some guys, nah, you don't need to, and other guys were like, yeah, you need to, because if you don't, you're gonna leak coolant. Now, we leaked coolant a bunch of times, so we're doing it. And I'll show you, when we set these gaskets on, they do not cover these holes. The only thing that would block the coolant from coming up them would be the bolt holes for the small block intake, or the bolts for the small block intake. That obviously you put PTFE on those bolts, but it didn't stop the coolant. It still came up through there every single time without fail. So I'm going to assume this should work. Well, 7 a.m. on a Saturday. Let's see if this intake's dry. Should be. It's been sitting in here for a few days. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's dry. Looks a lot better than it did. I did not like the flat black. That'll look way better on those valve covers. Beautiful. All right, well, let's go ahead and get our little bead set up here. Nope, not quite yet. I want to do the cooling jackets first. So we'll take that little dab that we just put there, and we'll run it around these. Got a little heavy on the front one, but that's okay. Then you can take your gasket. Oop. Put it back up. And get him where you want him. Take this side off. Do the same. Just a little extra sealing power here. I hope I have enough of this black RTV because I don't have very much. And if I run out, that's gonna be kind of crappy. There we go. Take our gasket here, give them the old spin around. Stick them down, make sure you've got your holes lined up. Now we can go ahead and do our China walls. Go back here to our back one. All right, there's that. We'll just add a little bit on top of this one here. It's just a little bit, not necessarily thin, just flat. Oop. There. I'm gonna let that set for just a minute, and then we'll drop our intake on. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing dropped in here. This one, there's a steel vacuum nipple back there in the corner. It's kind of snotty. Along with me knocking that light off all the time and this cable right here. Looks pretty good right there. That's the worst part of this, doing this stuff. Dropping the intake is terrible. I'm just kidding, it's not that bad. Just got to make sure that it's, you don't move it around a ton. As you just saw, I did move it just a little bit. Get these centers started. And then we'll go ahead and go through and torque the whole thing down. Then we can start putting it back together. You know, the fun stuff. These gaskets are a little thick. Hopefully they cooperate and seal up nice for us. Well, there she is. It's all torqued down. And I got my plugs and stuff put back in quick, and my little coolant bypass hose connection. Yeah, I mean, really from here it's just reassembly. Drop the distributor and put all the other garbage back on and get it rerouted so that it looks, you know, somewhat presentable, as best as you can do with an EFI system anyway. And I guess we'll find out if it's gonna leak. It'd be really nice if it didn't. I'd be thoroughly impressed. All right, let's go ahead and drop in the old distributor. Try to get it lined up where it's happy. The oil pump should still be in the correct position. Nope, we missed it. We're too far. Now I gotta spin the oil pump back the other way. Okay, there she is. Just took a long flathead, put in there, and spun the pump back a little bit, and then you play the distributor a little bit, and if you're within a tooth, it'll catch that oil pump and spin it. But that looks about where she should be, so we should be in all right shape there. So we'll go ahead and hook all of that stuff back up and get our wires rerouted. And then we can drop the carb and hook all that garbage up. Well, we're on the home stretch here. We got her closer. We got all of our wires on, distributors dropped and set. We just got to finish all the little miscellaneous hookup stuff, you know, on this fast EFI, and we'll be able to start it up here before too long. So I'm going to finish buttoning all this stuff up, finish the little oddsy endsies, and we will see if we have a fixed coolant leak and or fixed head that keeps getting hot. We have no leaks. Trying to bleed the cooling system down here. So far, so good. Lovely assistant sitting over here, phoning. So we're like 165 there, holding steady at 200 here. It's got air in it still somewhere. We'll just have to let it bleed out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we got it. We don't have any leaks, which is top notch. I can't believe that. First time ever this intake has not leaked coolant. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's because we put those plugs in the cylinder heads. So, if you guys have cylinder heads that are drilled for Vortec and small block, and you're running the small block style intake, as you can see, your Vortec ones are exposed. The gasket's not covering those things. You need to plug those. Grab you this kit off Amazon. I don't even know, it's some goofy brand name. It had the right sizes in there for me. We don't have a leak anymore, and I'll show you here quick. It is acting a little better with getting hot on that one side. So just sitting here, that's at like 179, 182. I haven't timed the car yet, but we're like 160, 179 and falling. This one normally balances out and just kind of sits around 200. This one sits around 160. It's got a 160 thermostat in it, so I don't know. That passenger head, it could be getting heat soaked. The sensor where it's at, if I wrapped it in Kevlar or something, it'd probably help quite a bit. It's getting a lot of heat from the headers, so that could be a part of it. So we're down to 170 now over here, 171, 159, 160. But I'd say overall, this car sounds so much better with this intake on it. That other intake, it was just lugged down. It didn't like it. The ports weren't big enough. There was nothing good about it. So we're gonna call that a win. Definitely a win. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate each and every single one of you guys. We'll see you in the next one.